Good afternoon, listeners. Don't you just love spring? It's so bright and sunny and full of beautiful colors and vibrant greens. And pollen. Lots and lots of pollen. Allergy season is fully upon us. Speaking of things that are upon us, the Easter holiday is quickly approaching. And of course, that means it's time to be vigilant, to be aware. We all know what this means, listeners. The eggs. The eggs are coming. We don't know when or where, but we must assume it will be like last year. Prepare yourselves, rid your house of existing eggs, avoid breakfast restaurants, keep salt with you at all times. The eggs may range in color, texture, and composition. We will be fine, listeners, I am certain, as long as we remain aware. In local news today, a 3-foot-tall plush Peep bunny has been spotted in Little Rock carrying an entire adult person. No one knows exactly where they were being carried, and local police were too baffled to stop it. They are now actively searching for the bunny in question and seek the public's help in identifying and locating the perpetrator. I, too, am curious about the purpose of this particular crime. How strong can a plush bunny really be? We will update you on the story as it progresses. We'd like to apologize for an interruption in last week's episode. It seemed to be caused by outside interference and contained false information that is not to be trusted. Any information you heard as the interruption was occurring can be safely disregarded. Thank you. And now, a quick advertisement. Do you dislike rain? Does our local weather displease you? Well, you've come to the right place. Lawyers Rain and Shine have been hard at work in discussions with local lawmakers to pass the Unkind Weather Law, which allows you to simply not participate in the rain any longer. Walk through life rain-free. Call Lawyers Rain and Shine now, toll-free, for more information. Don't let crummy weather affect your physical form any longer. Call today. Well, listeners, Easter season is truly upon us, what with all these eggs absolutely everywhere. This is only the beginning, but I've already had to fish one out of my microphone. And just like in every year, they seem to be appearing completely at random. Just during the break, one appeared in my hair, and I'm lucky I caught it before it broke and got raw egg all over me. Listeners, I'm afraid there is nowhere you can run or hide now that is safe from the sudden appearance of raw eggs. Personally, I prefer to gather them for future use. They're perfectly good eggs, after all. Collect all the ones that turn up in obvious places and make an omelet later. That way, they'll at least be good for something other than pestering me. And while perhaps I cannot escape the eggs altogether, I can steer the broadcast in the direction of something that is not eggs. The giant Peep plush was spotted inside the library. It entered through the main door on the first floor, grabbed one of the first floor staff members somehow, and made its way through the building to the back garden. How can it grab anyone? It doesn't have any... You know what? It's fine. It's not about eggs, so I don't care how. Both the library's security team and the local police are currently investigating the scene. More on this story as it progresses. What a boring time of year we're stuck in. Sure, it's brighter and warmer outside than it was before, but we've nothing to show for it. Work and school are both still in full session, so it isn't as though most of us have the time to spend enjoying our newfound sunlight and warm temperatures. If only the world saw it fit to C.A.L.S responsibility just for a day or two. Time for us to truly enjoy being stuck on this hopelessly spinning rock, this speck floating out in space. I once met a man who told a story about such. A whole civilization oblivious to the fact that their entire planet was merely a speck of dust. He was an interesting man, carried with him a sketchbook full of such interesting and intriguing illustrations. I wonder if he ever managed to get published like he spoke about. I didn't mean to get so hopeless and wistful on you all, dear listeners. It's just this time of year is all. Feels so stale, bland. It's almost as though we need a good holiday to shake things up. There's an egg in my hair. I almost forgot about Easter. and there goes another popping into existence straight into my hand. Unfortunate. At least I can have scrambled eggs for lunch. And with that, let me take you all to the weather. Well, listeners, I am receiving word that there is definitely more than one Plush Peep bunny. In fact, 2 more have been spotted within the library. They find a staff member, pick them up, somehow, and carry them back to the garden. Their motivations can't be determined at this time. This occurs as library happenings start to break down, as the random appearing of eggs starts to go from nuisance to real problem. Several eggs appeared in the air ducts and then immediately rolled and smashed themselves, so now the whole building seems to smell of scrambled eggs. But that would all be fine and dandy if they didn't appear closer to the ceiling. Since they appear randomly in space anywhere, many are appearing closer to the ceiling and then falling on unsuspecting patrons and library staff alike. I don't know about you, but I have no desire to be caught underneath falling raw eggs today. No, I think What is that? Listeners, there's a Peep bunny in my studio. He's looking at me with those beady little eyes. He's coming closer. Hey! He's picked me up and now he's somehow carrying me away. Listeners, I have no idea how he possesses the strength to do this. Wait, no, we can't leave the... I escaped him. Maybe I can stick around long enough to bring you to... He's back. Here's the traffic report. Well, listeners, I'm glad that all worked out. Despite how threatening their demeanor was, the Peeps plushes gathered us here not for a terrifying or dangerous intent, but in order to throw us the most lovely Easter garden party I think I have ever laid eyes on. It was just lovely in the main library's garden, the sounds of the fountain and the wind reminding us all of the beauty of nature, all of those people safely gathered 6 feet apart and with their masks on. Each large plush bunny moved closer to its chosen human that it carried to the party and then slumped on the ground, seemingly lifeless. They were then happily distributed to the library's children, 1 bunny for each child. Some of the children were only about as big as the plushes were. I'm sure it's completely safe to bring them home with your children. They'll probably never randomly come to life again. Besides, your children are attached now. Just try prying that thing out of little Timmy's hands. I dare you. All in all, despite how it seemed, it's been a rather lovely day. Although, I feel a change in the wind. I think something is coming. Something rather significant. Or perhaps it's just the pollen in the air after all. Speaking of springtime, the eggs seem to be slowing down now, finally. Although one did appear in my pocket just moments ago and the pressure was too much for it, so now my pocket is full of raw egg. It's an incredibly unpleasant experience. I think I'll go home now, get into some clean clothes, hope there aren't any eggs in my bed. It's been an honor to be your radio host for the evening. And as always, stay tuned.